OLIABO is the name of our company. It's also the name of our brand. And before we go a step further on the slide deck, I just point out that we have this corporate imaging that we've camped on. And all the images and all the things that you'll see in the slide deck are 100% the work product of this little group here. We decided that we thought it was a fun little era of creative space, that after World War II in the 50s, where these beautiful photorealistic color illustrations, that we're building the world that we want to live in. We are, if the mind of man can conceive and believe it can achieve. We started to build the world of OLIABO here before we started to build it in the physical space. And I think the imaging is kind of fun. And a big shout out to my friend Nancy in San Francisco, who pointed out that in the 1950s, women didn't always have as much rights in the workplace as in today. Very aware of this, Nancy. We are fixing all those problems with our little creativity. If you notice the young lady that appears on our pitch deck there working on a laptop, that laptop didn't appear in the 1950s, nor did most men serving food to the woman working on the laptop. We're fixing some of the things in our pitch deck. So, Nancy, you're the best. Sending love to you. Team profile. Joe did a little quick executive summary, but here are some of the compadres in this adventure called OLIABO. If you're new to this call, I'm Gordon. I'm in the upper left there. Io sono Gordon Angelo Roberto Morton. And my brother Joe over there, Giuseppe, he's the third one in. We are both, we have two Canadians on this slide deck represented in the executive team. We're both Americans as well now, but Curtis and Ashley on the top row. Curtis and Ashley are both from great state of California. You're both from California, huh?
Different Californias.
Yeah, they're from California. So we'll do like the little quotes because they're from a sophisticated state. We just tease. Curtis is like an expert at zeros and ones. That's what his title said before. He's our president and CIO. He tries to wrangle some of the chaos that is some of the rest of us, and he's doing a pretty good job so far. I think he's keeping us pretty compliant and exceptionally bright mind. And Ashley on the other side of Joe there is our VP of skincare and our quality control vice president. I always tease Ashley about things like, I'm like, hey, that didn't pass QC, including this week there was a label issue, but she's doing an amazing job on that. Adam Blake on the bottom row there, and Kent Wood. Kent is our CFO, and Adam Blake is Strategic Initiatives Director, and they're both amazing people. You're going to hear lots of them in the future. Brent and Jeff round out the executive team. Jeff is our general counsel, amazing general counsel. He has a crazy role of being in charge of compliance. So he checks all the stuff that we say to make sure that we're compliant, does a great job. And Brent Baum is in California this week. He's our Chief Strategy Officer. Okay, this whole adventure, OLIABO, if it doesn't sound like an American word, it's a made-up word. We made it up. This group that you see on the screen here made it up, not Adam. He wasn't part, or Kent. They weren't at the point part of the adventure. They didn't care yet, but now they care. But the word OLIABO comes from two words. It comes from olia, which means oil in Italian, the feminine, and then botanica, which is botanical. Fused together, we created a word. And our tax dollars are going to something that I approve of, because the USPTO has acknowledged we have created a unique word. It is ours. So OLIABO is the brand, it's the company, it's the name, and Treviso is the hometown of my mother, Gabriella Stefanini. She immigrated to Canada in her early 20s. Matter of fact, that's the pharmacy she worked at in the background. It looks exactly like that today as that picture back from the 1950s, okay? You'll hear about her in a second. Okay, the moment of epiphany and where our product idea came from. This is a house that I would rent in the summers. My family would live in Italy, and our young family rented a house that happened to be on the corner of an olive plantation. And we were privileged enough to see what the first press looks like of extra virgin olive oil. And it wasn't like this clear yellow stuff that many of us associate with olive oil. The first press looks that bright green fluorescent color of the product on the right, which is actually extra virgin olive oil coming out. It's actually green like that. Like Extra virgin olive oil, olives are picked green before they turn black, or most of them turn black at least. You get a lower yield, but you get a super high amount of antioxidant potential. It's the secret to the Mediterranean diet. It all makes sense. As Italians will say, eccolo qua, here it is. Oh my gosh, you have this green olive oil. It was explained to me that this is the life force of the Tuscan diet. A lot of Tuscans will take a tablespoon of olive oil on an empty stomach the first thing in the morning. It's got a little peppery taste in the back of their throat. We'll explain that in a second. But there's nothing like a good extra virgin olive oil. And that leads to a problem because in North America, we have nothing like an extra virgin olive oil. So the olive, we had this epiphany. Olives, oh, we all acknowledge, so they're nice. Oh, they're great. I'll have a few olives. Maybe I'll have one in a martini. You know what is generally regarded as a pretty great thing for your health? Olive oil is. Hey, you think about left and right, and you look left and look right, you realize that the olive has been omnipresent since the beginning of recorded history. If there's one thing that all three Abrahamic religions can agree on, and they agree on very few things these days, if you turn on CNN, they do agree that the olive holds an incredible importance in human history, human culture. Actually, it elevated itself to something beyond just a regular botanical. So this is Curtis. I said I was going to do this slide today, but it's your slide, brother. You do awareness gap, okay?
Yeah, so let me tell you about the awareness gap. So the question comes up, like olives, olive oil, like Gordon said, they've been around forever. So why olives and olive oil? Where that comes in is what we call the awareness gap. The awareness gap is essentially the gap or the difference between a common belief or knowledge, ancient wisdom, and what modern science and empirical evidence actually shows about that thing. So olives and olive oil are a perfect example of the awareness gap. Like Gordon said, most people, including today, olives, olive oil, yeah, they're good for you. And that's been pretty much how people have thought about them for thousands of years. And that's true. They are good for you. They're part of a good, healthy diet. We've heard a lot about the Mediterranean diet over the last decade or two. And that's true, but that's kind of where the common knowledge, common belief stops. But the reality is, modern science, over the last 10 to 20 years, very recently, has been able to discover and identify that high-quality olive tree-derived products, not just olive oil, but olive tree-derived products, we'll get into some more of those things, they actually contain an incredible amount of very powerful phytonutrients that offer incredible nutritional support. So the opportunity lies in filling that gap. Wherever there's a large awareness gap and a huge audience and market to take really incredible products to, there's a massive opportunity. So there's this massive awareness gap about olives and olive oil and olive tree derived products, and there's a massive audience that is already consuming some of these types of products, but a very low quality product in general. And so there's a massive opportunity for us to fill that gap with incredible products, with education, and with opportunity from the financial standpoint as a result.
Very good, Curtis. You can see why this is his slide. The gap that Curtis alludes to, the awareness gap, it's a problem solution. By the way, the world is a lot easier sometimes than we give it credit for. Yeah. Problems, solutions. I pay for problem. If I have a problem, I pay for solutions. If it's like my toilet's plugged, I'm really not good with plumbing. I'm paid for solutions.
Sorry, just one quick note. Somebody asked a question a couple of weeks back that I didn't have a chance to address, and they said, "Well, so why this model? Why take these products forward with this business model through direct selling, network marketing?" And the answer to that is that this is the perfect model to educate the world on products. Right? Think of all the different products that have had an awareness gap in the past that have been introduced to the world and that are now regular household products that came to the market because of network marketing and the education that people like yourselves drive forward. I mean, name them off: grapeseed extract, ginkgo biloba,
ginseng,
mangosteen, everything. And all of those things that have become normal to people that are sitting on the shelves of Walmart and every other store, they came about because of being driven forward through the network marketing model and the education that people like yourselves and others pushed out into the world. The other reason why olives and olive oil have been around forever but haven't really actually been ever done right is because products like we're bringing to market have not been shared, and the world has not been educated by incredible people like yourselves. And that's why this model is so perfect for OLIABO.
That's so true, Curtis. We've been doing this for several weeks now. Some of you folks have logged on. Some of you are, I'm giving big hugs tonight through the internet, but thank you for logging on. Some of you are several weeks in a row. You're early adopters and early adapters. You're the ones that are going to be leading the charge on this education. We're creating something we're calling the olive standard. It has never been set. The olive standard of health, the olive standard of skincare. There isn't one in the States and in Canada and most of the world. We're setting that. This is something that we talk about on our weekly call. The Mediterranean diet is something that we've all been in love with. We know there's something great about it. People have great health benefits. You go over to Europe and you're like, how come you can eat real cheese and then your actual bread has flavor and you actually have like all your food is, they don't have diet products. They don't have all these green labels. It's because one of the main reasons is because of the amount of olive oil, extra virgin olive oil. Average Italian consumes 14 liters of it a year. The Greeks, 20. The Greeks are always outdoing us somehow, over there. The average American, less than 1 liter of crappy olive oil per year. And that's a problem. Now, I'm telling you, folks, as Curtis alluded to, we are not just selling olive oil. What we know is that we are not going to take people from 1 liter of crappy olive oil a year to 14 liters and teach them how to relive their life or redo their diets. What we are ready to do, though, here's the problem that Curtis alluded to as well. There's the problem. This is not, I should stop using this slide because somebody's going to think I have a problem with Trader Joe's. I really don't. I shop there. This is a problem. It's a normal problem to see. If you go in and buy olive oil, as I said, there's nothing like a good extra virgin olive oil. And sometimes there's nothing like a good extra virgin olive oil. This is saying imported olive oil packed in Italy. But you look at the back, it's refined olive oil with the second ingredient, extra virgin olive oil, and it's produced in Italy and Tunisia. And quick geography study, Tunisia is not in Italy. So little blurb about just good quality extra virgin olive oil. We use the term EVO. If you're new to our world, EVO stands for extra virgin olive oil. There's another term we're going to use tonight, HP-EVO, which stands for high phenolic extra virgin olive oil. And all of the study results that you hear about here are done on a good quality extra virgin olive oil, high phenolic. So look at this, 50 milliliters a day linked to 30% lower risk of cardiovascular disease, mortality. I love this one. 11 milliliters a day of EVO, which is like a tablespoon and a half, I think, associated with 8 to 9% lower all-cause mortality. Death. It's just the only other way to put it. It's 8 to 9% less death. Brain health, not caffeine. We're talking about brain health. It's excellent for brain health, digestive health, good for microbial balance in your digestive tract, and then inflammation. Extra virgin olive oil, high phenolic extra virgin olive oil, nutritionally supports your body's ability to combat inflammation. I think that's pretty great. Studies even so go as far as to say that it mimics pathways similar to ibuprofen. That's a big thing to say. It's not me that said it. That is a study that was done in 2005. When Curtis says this is new science, it really started in around 2005. Science tells, stories sell. So what happens is somebody deemed it significant in about 2005 about a phytonutrient that we're going to talk about here. There's several of them in olives. Olive fruit, that bright green product I showed you before. We have found a way through a partner in Europe that has IP in this area, intellectual property, how to extract the goodness from the olive fruit. And then also another group that has IP on how to extract phytonutrients in a very, very, very select manner out of the leaf. So both those together, we call it olivectin. Folks, this is a new word. If you start to Google it, it's not going to lead you to anything. That's another word that the USPTO is helping us with there. It's our word, and that is in some products. If you're a chemist, these pictures right here they mean something. If you're not, they're just pictures. 3 phytonutrients for bascicide, oleuropein, and oleocanthal. This is a word that we are deeming significant because it's one that wasn't really identified until 2005. It is this beautiful phytonutrient that gives you a peppery taste in the back of your throat. As a matter of fact, Italians will look for olive oil that gives you a little bit of that in the back of your throat. And they say it initiates 3 coughs. Like you go, some of you have been in our office, you do the little run through. If we're doing this live in person, you can see that experience what I'm saying. Here's the solution. This is where the clouds part. And because who wants to just a problem with no solution, right? Problem. Oh, freaking boo. I turn on the TV, there's problem. All I hear is problem. There's problems with everything. I want solutions. And the solution is not, hey, we need to teach Americans how to incorporate 14 liters of high quality extra virgin olive oil into their diet today. We are really good at one thing in America, and that is starting businesses and being efficient. So introducing our flagship product, and it will be launching very soon. We're going to make an announcement tonight. Prima. In Italian, this word simply means first. Prima. It is the first press of extra virgin olive oil. Those 2 little capsules, I'll show you the capsules here. In each one of our daily phytonutrient packets, you get 2 HP Evo caps, high phenolic extra virgin olive oil infused with rosemary. This is our proprietary offering. And then 1 capsule of olivectin. I talked about it before. And 1 capsule we call Rosa. It's a proprietary blend of grapeseed extract and lycopene. Italians know that in Italy, they have like a trifecta. They like everything in 3s, right? So they have like 3 holy fruits. One is the olive, another is the grape, and another is the fig. And there's reasons for those things being elevated to kind of demigod status. Nutritionally, nutrition is one of them. So we won't unpack too much beyond that tonight, other than to say we do have an announcement. Oh, look at this. Wah, wah. Here's the problem. If you turn on CNN, you'll hear the word tariff a lot. Tariff. The word gives me gas now. I think I have gut problems. I need gut health supplements just because I hear tariffs.
They're on tariffs.
It's just about tariffs. So if you notice our premier product here, Prima, for those of you who are new, these are 30 daily supplement packets that come in a tin, because olive oil comes in a tin, because you have to protect it from light damage. Our tin has been the thing that's been holding us up because of tariffs. So we actually have great news tonight, which Ashley, are you in charge of are you good news, Ashley, today?
I am great news, Ashley.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Ashley, take it away.
Okay, so we heard you guys. We know you want this product as soon as you possibly can. And believe us, we want you to have it. We want you to try it. We want you to test it out. So we came up with a solution for the tariffs. Prima in a pouch. Still has all of the packets that you'll need, just in a little different dispenser. Still beautiful, still nice. We have very limited quantities of these just to bridge the gap between now and when the tins do come in. But we're excited for these and excited to give them to you.
And the tins are almost here. And that's the thing I should have probably led with. Yeah. The tins are almost here, folks, but they're holding up the entire thing. So we have a lot of folks in the system. Here's our announcement. This allows us to take orders now in mid-November. I'm not allowed to tell you the date, or else Curtis will stab me in the eye with his pen. And but it's soon. Live, we will tell you the exact date on Tuesday, 1 week from today. Okay?
Yeah. So this is when we will open pre-orders, and then we'll be shipping product fairly soon after that.
We won't take orders until we're ready. We can ship product. So there you go. There is the announcement. The announcement for Prima. This, if you weren't on the last 2 calls, this is the other announcement, is that we will also be at that time shipping our extra virgin olive oil, shipped at the same time as Prima, right? So yeah, mid-November. We realized that in the course of the last few weeks that we have not only created people that are asking a lot of questions about olive oil that they're buying, but they're also looking for a good high quality extra virgin olive oil. And ours will be coming with a certificate of authenticity. We're able to do that because we can actually authenticate the process. The supply chain that didn't exist a couple of weeks ago in this office is very alive and well right now. So This is the product that will be available at the same time as Prima. Prima as a good supplement, but also 250 milliliters of olive oil, get a month supply. We will talk about the way that the compensation plan works on another call, which Curtis will be announcing. But wait, one last thing before we leave this topic of olives. Olives are not only good internally, but they're one of those magical botanicals that have also become infamous for their transdermal benefits or their topical benefits. There is this really, really old pharmacy in the middle of Florence that I went to this summer. It opened. Okay, you gotta love it in the States. Hey, that store was opened in 1973. Okay, I'm a Canadian. I like roots. They're very proud of being opened in 1973. We're like, oh, that's an old company. In this store, Farmacia Santa Maria Novella, opened 1221, like 1,221. That's the year they opened. They have their line of naturally hypoallergenic products are all olive based because they're saying they're the OG hypoallergenic product. It's an antimicrobial, antioxidant protection, skin barriers. So we have put them in a couple of unique formulas. Flex, most importantly, in the first one out the gates. This will be available very shortly after that mid-November timeframe. It is the best components of high phenolic extra virgin olive oil fused with a couple of great compounds. Most important, in addition to that olive, is mangosteen pericarp and mangosteen seed oil. These have tremendous transdermal benefits. Some of the folks on the line are familiar with the wonderful benefits of the mangosteen fruit, including xanthones, which are a phytonutrient. The issue that we've had historically is the fact that it has been difficult to drive those nutrients deeper into the layers of skin. Ashley cracked that code by discovering something in olive called squalane, and it adds a lightness to the oil. Fantastic. It also has a beautiful effect nutritionally supporting your body's ability to deal with discomfort. And like when you have, like me, somebody that's my age who has, muscle and joint pain, it's a great way to support your body's ability to combat that. So that one's Flex. And last but not least, certainly not least, this will be coming out close to the end of the year. It is a product line called Treviso. My mom's hometown, I mentioned before, is Treviso. It means three faces. Treviso. And we have a 3-part skincare formula that will be a facial serum, a cleanser, and a moisturizer. And I thought the imaging is really great. If you grew up in my house, Joe knows all the pictures of my mom when she was young, when she was this person's age here in this photograph. They're all black and white because there was no color film in the 1950s. So we went black and white just for, as an homage to my mom. So there we go. We say simply natural, simply you, and you'll hear more about that as the weeks progress. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is a quick capsule summary of our products. We are really, really, really passionate about establishing and enforcing the olive standard of health and nutrition and in the area of skincare. We have put on all our products, if you look at some of them, the one that I just showed you here, they all have a little seal. You can see it if you got close to your screen. We put a seal on all our products. That's the Minerva seal of approval. It looks like this. It means that all of our products are tested for purity and quality, and they undergo multiple levels of testing. That's important. As I said, even our extra virgin olive oil that we're selling comes with a certificate of authenticity. This is something that makes you rest assured that if you're looking for nutritional benefits that they talk about in studies, it's got to be the real deal. It can't be fake. So, the olive standard. So let me do this before I continue. I think, because we're using a new system. Wait, Joe, I skipped over one slide, but it's okay. Joe, before I lead into introducing our guest tonight, I'm going to quote my little brother to him. I'm going to quote Joe to Joe. Back in 2002, Joe and I, and actually Kent on this line, Adam was there. Oh, well, Adam wasn't there in 2002. He was not 18 yet. When were you? You weren't. When did you join the corporation, Adam? That corporation.
I joined in 2004, but I knew about it from day one.
Hmm. He did. I think he was signed up in the as a distributor. So when we started to have a little success back then, it was a dark time in the world in 2002 because it was a year after 9/11, and we were determined to kind of put a little, I don't know, chance for optimism back into the business world and the nutritional world, and people started having success. And my brother said from the stage, "It's safe to dream again." And I thought to myself, it wasn't just to myself, I saw others. I said, "Oh, that's a little bit cliche." And people started quoting it. And so when we started this thing, I put this slide deck together and I put in, "It's safe to dream again," which I think is funny. And Joe wasn't even there when I launched this slide. And that was what's funny about it, Joe. I think that's hysterical. But that being said, there was a young lady that I'm going to introduce here that we both, Joe and I, knew at that time. I actually knew her before the start of that company in 2002, going all the way back to a corporation called Enrich International. And I was a distributor in that company. They had an office, their Canadian office was in British Columbia. And back then I met this young lady I'm going to introduce. Okay, Donna, I had to put a little picture of you in the corner. I know you're like, I don't want to use that picture, but I'm using in the corner. This is a display that Donna's setting up. She just had a meeting over the weekend. It was unbelievable. She was sending me all these pictures. She's like, "Don't brag on me. Don't say anything. Don't be like, get all soft on me." I'm like, "I won't, but I got to introduce you a little bit, okay?"
I mean, the one thing that I will say is that after I saw these pictures, I was checking my phone. I thought, I don't remember getting a text or an invite or anything, but it looked like it was amazing.
I got to see it taking place. She was sending me, "Okay, Donna, here's a funny story. I'm getting my hair cut on Sunday. You're having this thing, and you're sending me pictures." And the lady cutting my hair goes, "Are you having a family emergency?" And I go, "I don't think so." And she goes, "Your phone's blowing up." And I go, "It always blows up." And she said, she looks over and she goes, "Someone named Donna sent you 10 messages." I go, and she's having a meeting. It was the greatest. "Okay, Donna, I'm going to say this about you. I'll leave your intro short, but, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a few questions. But Donna, I have not seen you in real life for probably 15 years. But I see you every Christmas." Ladies and gentlemen, Donna's an actress. She's in Elf. I see her every year because she's in a really, really key scene in Elf. I'm going to out you on that one, okay? So Will Ferrell probably owes you a royalty check. But anyway, Donna, that was the worst introduction I've ever done in my life. But hey, welcome to the call. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions tonight?
Gordon, you can, but first of all, I've got to let you know I took some Torellis from the meeting the other night with the fennel because I took a picture of the table. We had this beautiful Connie and Doris and Colleen, a bunch of we just had a little mini impromptu. So Curtis, sorry we didn't invite you to see that. Next time. It was a dress rehearsal, walking through it all. But they did this most beautiful Italian food. And I took a picture and Gordon's like, "Are those Torellis?" Rachel loves Torellis.
So
We can't get them where we live. I'm like, "Well, I can get them where I live." They are so good. They're so good.
Good job, Donna. Like, one of the things that I don't know how Donna figured out, cracked the code, but her charcuterie board looks like it could be as at home in Little Italy as it in her house. But Donna, you're kind of growing like a rabbit farm on a hormone diet up there. Can I ask you a couple of questions just to tell folks how you're doing? Like, you got a lot of folks in your group. Do you mind sharing how many people you sponsored and how many are in your group?
Yeah, it's kind of exciting. I had a goal to be, because I knew you were going to invite me on tonight, and I had a personal goal and I had a team goal. Well, I surpassed my personal goal by 1, and the team goal is -1. So that kind of averages out, right? So basically, and I know you're going to ask me another question about who introduced me and all that, but what I just wanted to say
What
is,
were the numbers, Donna? How many
well, I'm
of you
going to tell
personally
you.
sponsored?
I'm leading up to that really quick because I want to do a little training in my stories because there's people here that have never done anything like this before, had any success. So I'm going to try and explain what I did. So as soon as I caught the vision and I made a list, I invited people to get on a phone call with me, and the key is phone call. on a phone call. I didn't post and pray on, like they call it, post and pray on social media. I didn't stick the pasta against the wall, throw it, and hopefully somebody sticked. I actually took everything to a phone call. And I put people on my list that I know I like, I trust. And if they can see what I see, they're probably going to want to be on these products. They're probably going to want to share it. They're probably, so there's some of our old gang from before putting the band back together. And I've met a lot of people in my 35 years that I have great connections with. So I made a bunch of phone calls and I got 31 yeses so far. 31. I did my 5, and Ray Heron often says if you got the recipe for a dozen cookies, you got a recipe for 1,000 dozen. So I had I enrolled 5, which is what we need for the premium plan. So I went, well, let's go for another 5. And so 31. The group right now is starting to duplicate. And there's everyone from 88 years old down to probably 28 years old on my team. And we're at 99. I wanted to say 100, but we're at 99 the last time I just looked. So I'm super excited about this early anticipation and excitement to be part of the launch.
Well, Donna, and I was teasing you because you said you wanted to hit 100 by the call on Tuesday and you hit 99. So I was like, we should just lie and just tell them that we did it on purpose because number 99 is Wayne Gretzky and he's very authentically Canadian. But anyway, we're too honest. So Donna, you just—
9's a great number. It's most high. That's a great number. Mm-hmm.
It is. It's a very good number. So Donna, can I ask you, how did you actually, I don't know exactly how you heard about OLIABO the first time, because suddenly I looked up and I saw your name scrolling on one of these calls like this one night.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go back a bit. I've been 35 years in the industry. I've had some phenomenal success. Basically, when I was with you and Joe and Gordon and Adam and Kent and that prior, I've had some decent success and I've had some real darn right awful experiences. So about 2 years ago, I decided to pack up my toys and leave the sandbox because it wasn't fun to play there anymore. It smelled more like a litter box. It smelled and looked like a litter box. I just found, and I'll say to my 2.5-year-old grandson, he goes, "What are you doing for a job?" I go, "Well, Mommy left her industry because it's icky and smelly." Like it's just icky and smelly out there. And sure, there's some good companies, but I just found that everything that I tried to hitch my wagon to just turned out to be dead ends. A lot of smoke and mirrors. And I know, like I said, I know there's good companies, but I was done. So I hadn't been really on social media much or anything. And here's another little piece of training for you. A gentleman that actually knows and likes and trusts me, I met in Thailand in 2005 in May. With you, Gordon, and we were hiking up the side of a mountain in the rainforest trying to find a waterfall that was supposed to be there, and we were huffing and puffing and sweating, and I met Hernan Lawless and Robin back 20 years ago. Well, relationships were the number one thing in this industry, and if you keep relationships, so Hernan and I have kept in touch all these years. And if he's doing something, he always has me on my list. And if I'm doing something, I'm always on his list. And we always say no to each other. And we always say thank you very much. And don't ever take me off your list. Well, he did the right thing. He sent me a text message. He said, "Donna, can we talk today?" And I wrote back, "Hey, Hernan, sure." He goes, "How about 4:00 your time?" And I go, "Okay." And he goes, "Oh, by the way, I'm bringing someone on that knows you and he wants to say hi." That was the invitation. Talk about keeping intrigue. So for 3 hours, I had to pace back and forth. I was preparing my my rejection speech, like, "Thank you, gentlemen. That sounds lovely. It's not a good time for me, but I wish you all the best." I was preparing my negative, like, rejection speech because, he's going to pitch me on something and I'm done. I'm done playing this game, right? This is laughing. This is a true story. So I get on and there's Hernan and, we get the voice. I'm like, "Hey, Hernan." And he goes, "Someone by the name of Ray Heron wants to say hi." And I hear, "Hello, Donna." And I'm like, "Ray Heron, 15 years. Like he's my Jim Rohn, right? Like he's the guy." And I'm like, "Okay, now this is serious. I might not be using my rejection speech here. This is sounding too cool." Then Hernan, who's amazing. So of course I'm already, like I think he's one of the best networkers I've ever ran into in this industry. He's just such an all-around great guy, and he knows the principles, and same with Ray. So anyways, they said, "Okay, Donna," and I loved how Hernan stepped back and let the third party do the talking, which was Ray. And that's a real key for all of you, third party edification. So Ray starts talking and all I hear is 5 words. "Gordon Morton is about to," and I blanked out. And they're blah, 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 blah. And the next thing I hear is, Would you like to know more? And I'm like, yes, because Gordon Morton is what? And so I had to sign an NDA. Okay. So I said, okay, guys, I'll sign the NDA. Now, what can you tell me? And they go, Donna, this is Ray, we can tell you nothing. And I said, well, you passed my first test because confidentiality in network marketing is something that doesn't exist. But this is so important. They were telling me nothing. So it was the longest 48 hours of my life. I send in, the DocuSign comes, Adam, and it took forever for this. You're in, and then Hernan gets a message. So he pops me on his Zoom now. And I used to say, spill the beans. Well, we're now spilling the olives. So he filled me in and brought me right up to speed with some, probably not legal graphics at the time because everything was screenshots off of your things. But it was, the rest is history. Honestly, I literally, are you kidding me? Like I just was done, and now you bring the biggest thing of my career, and I'm making lists. Like names are just popping out like crazy. And as you know, Gordon, I've had some pretty hilarious chats. I'm actually not normally a funny person, but this humor is coming out. This lightheartedness is coming out, and no wonder 31 people have said yes because I'm Mach 2 with my hair on fire. Richard Brooks, one of my mentors, and it's like I am having the time of my life.
First of all, this is funny because you and I were talking yesterday about like, you're like, can you ask me some questions? I'm like, sure. You're like, what are you going to ask me? I'm like, I don't know. It's like you're killing me. First of all, you just outed Hernan outed. He took pictures of our slide deck. Okay, that's funny.
Yeah.
You're
Sorry, Hernan.
I love Hernan. Can you do me a favor, Donna? I see something in the background, and I may be correct. Are you shift? Can you? Oh my gosh! Donna's magazine cover.
There's a picture of me on an elephant, the only time ever in Thailand. It's a little picture. And then you had that beautiful shadow box done of, obviously this one, right? And it's still up there because it was a highlight of, I wanted to be a role model for my daughters. And that story, my children were 9 and 13 in that magazine. They're 28 and 32 now. And they grew up in this industry, and that magazine has turned them into, honestly, the confident young women they are. It's
gosh. You're killing it tonight, sister. Like you were saying to the other, like you're a little nervous. You haven't been on a call in a while or something. I was like, are you kidding?
Little rusty.
Oh, you're killing me. So Donna, like I asked you this yesterday, and like you had some success in the past, clearly, right? I don't think you need more attention in life because you got plenty. You're in Virgin River, first like season 1 and 2, like you appear in that kind of thing. I don't think you need more people knowing who you are. So, but can I ask you, what does success look like for you going forward in this thing? Why would you join this adventure called OLIABO?
That's a really, really good question. And well, lots of reasons. You're bringing the greatest health story that's never been told till now. So you found something so unique, so proprietary, so needed in the Western world. I'm a massive foodie, clean eating, everything. So you're speaking my language with the Italian. I've never been there. We'll talk about that later. I'm sure we'll bring up the trip. But partnering with people that you really admire, that have like your character behind behind closed doors, your character in your family life, and the way you were raised with Gordon Senior and Gabriella, and I know your story. I've met your parents. I've like it's this is family. And in our doom and gloom world right now, and I was sitting there going, what am I going to do? Where's my passion? I've lost it. There's got to be something. We need OLIABO, and people, we need OLIABO, and OLIABO needs the people. So I feel like my vision is as big as yours, Curtis and Gordon and Joe. And I feel responsible, and I'm choosing to be responsible to come on board and make this a reality and see people happy again with hope again. I've never been, and I have to watch because money's like, we all need money. Hello, right? We need money to do things. I have never been really driven by the money, but the money always comes when I'm doing the right things. So I've had some success, as you said, but just like the movie Elf, when we got the phone call to spend 4 days in a really sweaty, haughty little film set with some creep in yellow tights, as my daughter would put it. Who's the creepy elf in the yellow tights? And they said tights because they're ballerinas, so they weren't leotards, they were tights. And, and I just got paid and hoped that Abby didn't have a tantrum because she was 5, and we got the heck out of there and got our little commission check. But I didn't see the vision for the movie. I thought, oh, this looks like a cute little thing they're going to put out in Christmas 2003. So we go to the movie. I'm like, holy, this is really amazing. But the producer knew, the director knew, the financing people knew, the cast knew. So here, I'm now buying into your vision. We can come here and have these products and get some good health and maybe make a little money on the side. But my vision of what is possible is as big as yours. And just like Elf being in the top Christmas movies of all time. I didn't know, but I know now. I'm buying into your vision right now that this is going to be the greatest network marketing story that has never been told because we are doing it right. So that's I'm all in. We're going to just do this right. Okay. There's right and almost right. We're going to do it right.
Okay, you're on fire tonight. Wow. Okay, so by the way, folks, I'm just going to point out there's a crazy scene in Elf where they look at the crowd. You see Donna front and center with they're surrounded by family. She's in shock and awe on the screen. I see it every Christmas. It's like you couldn't have found an easier way to promote you, Donna. So thanks for doing that. Thanks for getting your SAG card and going in that production. But Donna, I'm going to say this. You shared with me and some of the other folks around here that when Joe was talking about the Prima call, okay, I'm going to tell you something, Donna. This is funny. On the notes going into tonight's call, I was talking to Ray, and the topics went in order. Prima, Donna. That's what it said. Prima, Donna. Okay. I go, oh my gosh, it's prima donna. Now that in Italian, it means the first lady. Okay? The first lady, right? You're prima donna tonight, and I think it's hysterical. But you also made the goal to be on the first trip, which we're calling Prima, and that's 1 year from now. As a matter of fact, Donna and I have we're going to do a little salute there, just because she said, I'm doing it. She was the first person that said, I'm going to be the first person there. I'm going to qualify. I'm going to put myself in that picture. I'm like, yeah, right on. So can I ask you this? I'm going to let you finish off with something. If you could give a little piece of advice to someone starting out in this wellness space, because you've been in it, you and I have been in wellness before. And what would you say to the new person that might be logging in here for the first time tonight?
Okay. Well, I'm going to actually do 2 things. I'm going to give a little advice to the new person, and I want to speak to the seasoned networker that's joining here as well, because it's really important. So for the new person here today, and this is what I teach, one thing, leaders it's not what you say that they're going to follow, it's what you do that they're going to duplicate and follow. So number 1, pat yourself on the back. For all of you here that maybe you've been in something you think is like this, if you haven't, but something you think it was like this, and maybe you didn't hit where you hit. And there's probably a million reasons why that happened. You gave up, whatever it was. Maybe you've never done anything like this before, but you're ready to do something. So you're going to be a little nervous, a little scared, but the first thing is self-praise. Pat yourself on the back and compliment yourself. You just made the biggest decision of your life. To be here, to change your life. This is the biggest decision. Now, everything is just going to be the little tiny steps to make it happen. So the first thing you want to do is get a paper and pen and go, why do I want to be here? And why? What do I want to get and why? And if you have a hard time defining your why, because life's been beating you up, write down answers to what do I want more of in life? More money, more energy, more time with the people I love. And then make that list. Second list, what do I want less of? Less stress, less debt, less, fatigue, less, doom and gloom. And then through the more and less list, you will define a basic why. It will evolve and you will tweak it as you go along. Take that why and now ask yourself, do I want to make this change? And you give yourself a yes. Then you go and say, how many hours am I going to put into my OLIABO business? Where can I find 30 minutes or carve away a few minutes here? And it doesn't matter the amount of time you have, because some people have almost none. You'll find a little. It's what we're going to do with that time that is more important than the quantity of time. So then you're going to go, okay, where do I want to be in 90 days? Write it down. Where am I going to be when everybody's in Prima with Donna? Do you want to be there? And not everybody will, but if you really, really think you want to be there and be part of this pioneer leader team, you know what? I'm not techie. It took me literally 30 minutes to take my grandson off my screensaver to put this on. 30 minutes. Next time I'll get my grandson to do it. It'll probably take him 5 seconds. But I want my visual right there. So if you want to go, don't go, oh, I hope I can go. I'll try to go. Wouldn't it be great if I could go? No, I am going. I am going. No try, no wish, no whatever. So then the next step you're going to do is take initiative. Okay. Where do you want to be in 90 days? Where do you want to be a year? Take the initiative and go to your success line. If your girlfriend next door signed up 4 seconds before you, chances are she doesn't know much. So the two of you go to the next success line and go up until you can find someone you identify with and say, this is my goals, this is my why, and I want to be held accountable. Will you coach me? Will you do this with me? First 5-10 phone calls should not be alone. So the new person here, it doesn't matter your skill set. You can borrow ours. Have your mindset and your commitment down pat, and you get with the person, and we do this together, Andiamo, right? And so that's number one. And I could go on for probably a whole super Saturday on this topic, but I'll stop there. Now I want to address the seasoned networker, the folks that have had the expertise, the maturity, the success, the experiences, the trips, everything. Might know you guys, might not know you guys, but they're all in with experience. When we enroll someone, our job doesn't end, it's when it begins. Okay, my 31 people, I don't walk away and hope their pasta sticks to the wall. No, I'm going to literally get in there and do action strategies within the first 24 to 48 hours and say, hey, did you write out your why? Are you coachable? I would like to get you to that goal with you. Let's do this together. And that's what duplication is duplicating the right activities over and over and over and over. And so we have a responsibility, the folks that are aligning, and I know there's a lot of you out there with tons of experience, and there's the masses are going to come that need this so much. And we need to do our responsibility to partner through. And you know what? As the late Jim Rohn said, and that's one of my mentors, learn and do and teach. Learn and do and teach. 2 weeks ago, I couldn't say oleocanthal, verbascicide, and oleuropein without looking at my cheat board up here, but I can say it now. I'm learning, I'm teaching, and I'm doing all simultaneously. And as people start to get a skill set, and the last thing I want to say, this isn't corporate America. You don't have to be in the witness protection program. You don't have to keep what works for you quiet, to yourself, because someone's going to climb up over you and take your promotion. We share what works. We do this. Like, I'm on this call with, a good portion of my team is here, but most people on this call or recording, not my team. That's great. I am part of the family, and we're all here to share what it is. So I'm I'm a little bit excited to be here. And thank you. I just really appreciate the chance to be able to share my heart with all of you. So everybody, I wish you all the best. And I'm hoping to see many of you next year in Italy for the Prima trip. Thank you, Gordon and Curtis.
Grazie tante.
Amazing.
Wow.
Thank
Jeez, Donna. And I'll tell you, let's say there's one thing she referenced something about. Donna made a commitment in a former lifetime. And she saw a picture of like Thailand, and she's like, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna ride an elephant. Well, that picture. We have a picture of the rainforest somewhere in like Thailand together, and she just like, man, I'm going for it. Canadians say giver, like, hey, giver. That means like, go for it, carpe diem, right? Way to go, Donna. Like, give me a big applause.
And I wore a snowmobile suit under my Halloween costume because I grew up in Winnipeg. And then I came out here, and we didn't need the snowmobile suit, but they do fireworks. Like, who puts fireworks with children's flammable costumes? Don't ask me.
She can attest to the fact that there are people that do go Halloweening in the snowmobile suit. So thanks, Donna. You're the best. Sending love to you up there in BC and or Washington. I don't know which.
No, I'm in BC. I'm in BC.
Okay, good. Folks, I'm going to turn just a few minutes to Curtis. Thanks, Donna. Curtis, maybe you can share about Thursday's call, right? There's
Yes,
Thursday
absolutely. So
and there's
Thursday-
video on demand stuff.
Correct. So Thursday we are going to do a call at 2 p.m. We'll send out an email. We'll also post it on oliabo.com/launch. And it will be a kind of a dual call. We'll do a little bit on product and getting into some product details deeper. And we'll also do some high level Premio Pay compensation plan as well. So in preparation for that, I've added and sent out an email. I've added a link to an introductory Premio Pay overview in the back office. and emailed it out. So those of you that have not seen that, ask around, let us know, contact support@oliabo.com. But your homework, for those of you that would like to join on Thursday, your homework is to watch that 8-minute overview and bring questions, bring excitement. We'll dig into the product and we'll dig into the compensation plan more then. Thursday, 2 p.m. Mountain Time US. And yeah, check out that video. So YouTube, we're starting to post some of our videos on YouTube. Like this one, we'll probably post that tomorrow or so on YouTube as well. So yeah, any of the social media channels, whether it's Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube, if you go and search Oliabo Official, you should be able to find us there. But yeah, there you go.
Beautiful. Thank you, Curtis. And we are going to, Joe, my little brother, I'm gonna throw to you. I don't know how many of us get to follow Donna tonight, but it's tough. But I'm gonna ask you to maybe close up and introduce Ray tonight. You good with that?
Yeah, of course. Thank you,
All
Gordon.
right,
Thank you,
cool.
Curtis. And Donna, I was thoroughly enjoying. You could just keep talking for an hour, and I would have been happy, man. Holy macro, Donna, that was
Yeah.
great. And you were bringing back a flood of memories. Just as a side note, everyone, when Donna talks about like relationships and the importance of relationships and these relationships that have lasted for a long time. Donna, we worked together back in the 90s. Remember that? Like, I think Gordon and I both kind of shared that role for a little while. And you were like our counterpart up there. And my first meeting with you in a former life, when you were that incredible leader that is on your wall there, that my son, it was weird. My son just got married a couple weeks ago, and he was just a little guy. Remember, Donna? He was like so small, and he came to me with me to that meeting. And I remember walking in. And if everyone's wondering, "Whoa, this girl can light it up," she can really light it up. It was a school environment. I don't remember exactly, Donna. It was hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people at this meeting. And my son was like, he was traveling with me because we traveled a lot. Remember, Gord? I mean, Kent, were always gone. So he was back behind me and he stood behind me the whole meeting that I was speaking. And Donna, you and your team were so kind to him, made him feel welcome. He just got married a couple weeks ago. Beautiful how relationships, how we can keep these relationships strong over the years. And I'm so honored that you're there, Donna. Honestly, you could have spoke for hours. So sorry. With that said, Ray, we just had a nice conversation. Ray and I were chatting in the car when I was driving in the car, having a great conversation. And so thrilled that Ray, you are our lead distributor, our frontline distributor. We're grateful for you. And thanks for being here, Ray. It was every time I talked to you, I feel like I become a little smarter, and I love it. And Ray, can you take us home tonight? We just had something. Every time I talk, we just have such a great conversation. Ray brings such a wealth of knowledge to the industry. And speaking of relationships, I know Gordon talks a lot about the relationship and how he and Ray have been close over the years. One thing that maybe everyone doesn't know, I worked with Ray. Remember, Ray? I was newly married. I was probably like 22 or 23 years old, and I was taking phone calls at a network marketing company. Gordon and I worked there together. And Ray, you and I talked almost every day. Kind of this, it's like weird, like a couple decades later, here we are still talking every day. But wow, it's so amazing. And Ray, you lit it up back then. You lit it up in every former experience that we've had. And boy, we're taking this one to the moon and beyond. So Ray, can you take us home tonight, brother?
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate you so much. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I recall some of those early days, Joe, and your children's in the car, and we had hundreds of people on the call around the world, and the kids are saying, "Pew, Daddy, that stinks." And they were passing the sewage plant. You remember that,
You
Joe?
remember what I said? I said, "Oh, that's the poo-poo. What did I say? I called it something. It was the sewage place where I lived." And my didn't mute my phone. And yes, you remember that.
Some of the fun times we've had. Good evening, everybody. It is a pleasure to be here with you. And Donna, you're forever going to be known as Prima Donna. And look, if I had my choice, I would not follow you. You were electric tonight. Good friend of mine that's in heaven today, probably one of the best networkers that I've ever known. You know, he was pretty fond of bragging about himself, and when he knew he did a good job that night in a presentation, he used to say, "Son, I was cooking on the front burner." And I can tell you for sure, Donna, you were cooking on the front burner tonight. Folks, if you really want the secret to success, you just saw a perfect example of it. It's called passion. Get passionate. Donna is very passionate, and that's why she's going to build a gigantic organization here. All of us listening to you, we know that. So great job, Donna. I enjoyed everything that you had to say. And let me just share with the audience here. If you'll give me a few minutes, you know, I'm from Oklahoma. It's hard for me to keep things to a couple of minutes. So I just want to visit with you and tell you where I was up until several months ago, quite a few months ago. Uh, I've been 40 years full time in this industry, and 32 of those years just, you know, certainly from where I came from, poor boy from Oklahoma, just knocking it out of the park. Earned more money than I could have ever dreamed of growing up in that little dusty Southwest Oklahoma town. And 32 of those years, that's where my life was. The last 8 years of my life, you know, coincidentally, Joe and Gordon and all the executive team. By the way, I appreciate all of you so much. And Ashley, I'll just put this in this conversation. That bag you had, that thing was better looking than Gucci to me. I'm ready. I'm ready for the Prima product. But you know, I had decided since the days of Zango, 8 years plus, I had decided that I'm through with network marketing. I really couldn't find something that fit me. It's not that, Don, I agree with you. It's not that there's all the companies are bad. There are a few good ones, but for some reason, even the good ones, they just didn't fit me. And I had decided I was going to downsize a bit because of this industry and my good fortune, the success I've had. I live in 4 different places in the world, and I decided to downsize my life. I'm going to spend the rest of my days at a condo I own in Oklahoma on a golf course, trying to improve a golf game that's not very good to begin with. And so I know that wasn't going to be very fulfilling for me, but I had decided that, you know, I was through in this industry because I just couldn't find anything. And then I got the call, the famous call from my good friend Gordon Morton. He began to talk to me about OLIABO and what he wanted to do. And well, I tell you, I could just feel a spring coming back in my step in that conversation. And Gordon, I just want to say thank you, by the way. Uh, I'm probably not. I'm not a young man, as you can tell. Been around a long time. Probably in the last chapter of my life. And I'm not saying how long that chapter is. And maybe with our Prima products and the good olive oil, that chapter may be a lot longer. I hope it is. But there probably would have been a better choice for a lead distributor, master distributor for this company. There's a lot of young, very energetic entrepreneurs in the world that, you know, they're tech savvy. They're all these things. They make the list. But you know what, Gordon, being the kind of guy he is, you got to know we worked together long before in business, long before Zango was ever born. I've known this family, Joe, his brothers, all the brothers, their sister, their mom, and their dad for over 30 years. So I know these guys. I trust these guys, love these guys, and I can count on these guys. Gordon, being the way that he is, he's loyal. He's loyal. And he knows I've got a big heart for people and that I want people to be successful. And you know, while I may not have all the things that you look for in a master distributor, he knows that I care greatly about the success of people and being honest with them and giving them a real opportunity. So I got the call, and thank you, Gordon. I appreciate it. I'll always be grateful, and until my dying day, I'll give Oliabo everything I got. I know what this one's like, folks. I've had the preview. 15 years working with these guys, earning more money than I could possibly imagine, traveling all over the world. Just this weekend, going through some photos that my wife was showing me. You know, riding camels like Donna was talking about, driving a 911 beautiful Porsche, classic Porsche through Italy, countryside, Dubai, in the world's tallest building. I remember being up there, Joe, and the building is swaying. It's so tall, it sways. So, I mean, memories of a lifetime. This one is going to be bigger. I'll make the prediction. This one will be bigger than the Zango Corporation, and we were the poster child of the industry for at least a decade or longer. So I know what the future's like for you if you get the right mindset, if you get the kind of passion. You don't have to have the kind of passion Donna had, but if you got about 25% of that passion, you got what you need to be wildly successful. So always be thankful for that call. And I'm reminded of what a good friend of mine says, probably one of the most successful network marketers in the entire world. He says, "What have you ever done in your life 100%?" Now, think about that. That's a tough one. What have any of us ever done 100%? It's a good question to ask yourself tonight before you lay your head down. I want to encourage you. The master himself, Mr. Jim Rohn, was my personal mentor. Met him personally 40 years ago, taught me things that changed my life like that. A little bit of time, personal time with Jim Rohn, and some things he gave me to study, books he recommended, and the one advice that made all the difference in Ray Heron's life was he said, "Ray, if you find the right opportunity in this industry, the network marketing industry, at the right time, and you built your business for 90 days, literally as if your life was hanging in the balance, it can set you up financially for the rest of your life." I'm not guaranteeing that to anyone here tonight, but I'm telling you that formula works. I've applied it 4 different times in my career. It worked every time. 3 times in particular. 3 times. I took that advice, and when I'm 40 years ago, I certainly wasn't Donna Farrell, I can tell you. I mean, I had a poor self-image of myself. I wasn't comfortable speaking to people. Just everything was tough for me. You know how I grew up, well then you would know why. But I managed to just get past that fear, and I went for it hard as I could for 90 days in 3 months time. Hard to imagine, 3 months time, 90 days. I was earning more money in 90 days than all of my friends that had high paying jobs. It was incredible. I never looked back. And so all of these 40 years, I've been grinding it out in this industry, having the time of my life. It's given my family everything that I always wanted. I just wanted them not to have to repeat the life that I'd experienced growing up. They've had a wonderful life thanks to this industry, and I loved it so much I was grieving when I had made the decision to retire. I didn't want to retire. I don't have to do this. I choose this. I want to do this. I love Gordon completely. I mean, he's amazing. Joe, you're amazing. All this executive team, I love all of you. And folks, I got to tell you, if you've ever in your life said, if I could just find the right opportunity at the right time, then I could do something. It's right here before you. We haven't even hit the switch yet. We're going to do that really, really soon. So why don't you consider for once in your lifetime, giving it 100% and just do your best. You hit this hard and heavy for 90 days and you get the kind of passion that Donna had, I think success belongs to you. And I'll be here for you. There's lots of great people in this company already. I see the names. We're just south of 300 people on this call here tonight, and we're just getting started. The time's coming soon where we'll be on. There'll be 3,000 people. There'll be 5,000 people. That's just the way it works. I'm so excited, guys. Thank you so much. I know I've rambled on, and people, if I talk much longer, they're all going to get off the phone, but or the Zoom. Thank you, everybody, and once again, Gordon, thank you for the call, brother. I love you all.
You're the best, Ray. Thank you so much. A great call, you guys. Everybody. Whoa. Nice job, team. High fives are all the way around. As Donna says, give yourself a pat on the back. So, hey, little brother, you want to say anything else? We're going to close it up tonight.
Hey, everything's been said. It's been an amazing call. Look for that call on Thursday that Curtis announced. That was 2 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, correct, Curtis?
Yep. And we'll send out an email. We'll get it posted on the website at oliabo.com/launch. If you got questions, other info you're looking for, reach out to support@oliabo.com as well.
Excellent. All
And
right,
guys,
ladies and
if
gentlemen.
you're here, Igor, one last thing. If you're here for the first time and someone invited you, get with that person who invited you. Get with that person, ask them more about this, find out more about the product. Yes, I mean it's brand new. This is right at the beginning. Like we're knocking at the door right here. Ray's right. We're ready to run.
Can I say
Donna's
one
done
last thing, Joe?
Yeah.
I just thought about this. I meant to say it. Maybe you would want to address it as well. Such a grand idea that you guys came up with, Gordon. The Club Grand. That's the first 1,000 people that place an order with the company. If I think I'm right. If I have
Yes.
that right. So
Right.
Yes.
we're getting ready to order product really soon. Stay tuned. Yes, there's more than 1,000 people here, but you know how numbers work in life. Probably some of them are going to be asleep at the wheel. They're not going to place an order. It's the first, maybe you're number 1,200 or 1,300, whatever you are. But there's a good chance if you fall in that number, if you place an order, just place an order. When we can order, you're going to be a member of Club Grand. Now, I don't know what all Club Grand's going to mean, but I know how these guys celebrate their distributors. There are going to be some real perks. You'll probably get preferred
Yep.
seating at lunch and lots of
Yep.
other things. You probably get a nice little bag. You'll get backpack. It's going to be important. Maybe a nice little pin that you can wear. So don't miss out. Place an order and be part
Well,
of
this
Club
is what I
Grand.
kind of want. And that's, oh my gosh, Ray, you're the best. Yeah. It's actually how we get stuff done. Ray just kind of feeds us this at the end of the call. That's fantastic. Great idea. Great idea. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, brother.
Appreciate you guys.
Appreciate
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you
Thank
so
you, Ray.
much.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks so much. Look for the info on the next calls coming up.
Okay.
Ciao, ciao.
Cheers.
Ciao, ciao.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, all. Thank you.